the Kings needed to have. They just moved into a tie with the Lakers for the 8 seed in the Western Conference with that loss tonight. The Kings needed that game, and the Celtics did not, and that's exactly what you got there at the end of that ball game. Green went up by 19. Starters come out. Game over, right? Well, no, because generally the opponent pulls their starters too in that situation, and we all go home. But Sacramento didn't do that. You understand why they didn't do that. They needed to do it. They did the right thing if you were the Sacramento Kings. And the Celtics did the right thing too. That's my takeaway. I didn't think we were going to have a lot to talk about with this game tonight, but we do. This is a gift. This is a gift for me. I'm on until midnight. This is a Christmas gift of all Christmas gifts. I can break down Game 77 where the Celtics are 61-16 or whatever they are. 61-16 at this point, which is ridiculous. They've got a 14-game lead, 13.5-game lead in the Eastern Conference right now. I can legitimately sit here and break down a game after that. Hallelujah. Wow. Oh, baby, that's nice. Because I thought they totally did the right thing. Loved the way the Celtics approached the end of that game tonight. I'm curious what you thought. If you're coming home from the Garden, we've got room for you. Phone lines are open now at 617-779-0985. We're on until midnight. We've got room for you. We'll take care of you early and often tonight. I just loved what Joe Mazzulla did at the end of this game. I do. Maybe one of my favorite things he's done. There was no reason to bring the starters back in that game tonight. None. Zero. And maybe some coaches, maybe some of you would have been tempted to bring back Tatum, bring back, Porzingis. Nope. No reason to go with them. Absolutely none. Because this game meant nothing to the Celtics and it meant everything to the Kings. But you know what? There were two guys that Mazzulla did leave out there. Pritchard and Hauser. It was essentially a third unit for the Celtics with the exception of Pritchard and Hauser. And maybe, just maybe, this game helps somebody like Peyton Pritchard along the way. Because you're going to need Peyton Pritchard in the playoffs. You're going to need him to give you a little something. You're going to need Sam Hauser to give you a little something, and boy, did he not tonight. Maybe somewhere along the way you might need Xavier Tillman in some type of matchup. I don't know what that is, but maybe you do. I just think tonight showed big picture thinking from Joe Mazzulla, which for a second-year coach is not automatic. Like, do you trust Joe Mazzulla? I don't. I don't think a lot of Celtics fans should. I don't think a lot of Celtics fans do. Outside of you, Greeny. I'm sure you trust him, but I think the average Celtics fan probably doesn't trust the second-year head coach who got exposed last year and, can get stubborn about things. I think it's a fair question. It's a fair criticism of the Celtics. But Mazzulla showed big picture thinking tonight to rest his starters and to put his bench players in a position where they have to close out a game to replicate some type of pressure situation. Because you're not going to have Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser trying to close out games for you in the playoffs, but you might need them to come in at some point and give you a few good minutes, and those minutes will be high pressure. And what can you learn about them in those moments? I mean, I'd have to look it up. How many times is Sam Hauser on the court in a 1-point game for the Celtics this year with a minute to go? How many times has that happened? Probably not many. Probably none. It's really hard to, envision a scenario in which he's, a member of your closing five. I'd have to go through every box score, but it's probably 0 or 1 in a very specific certain circumstance. So put them out there. See how they respond. And did you learn a little something about Peyton Pritchard? Did you learn a little something about Sam Hauser tonight? And I think you did. I think Peyton Pritchard has proven to you all year long that he is a legit NBA role player. And when I say legit NBA role player, that means somebody that I can count on in the playoffs. I trust Peyton Pritchard in the playoffs. I thought he was outstanding tonight. I think he's been really consistent, really good all year long. I also think Pritchard, even though he's small and even though he's undersized, I love the way he rebounds. Didn't rebound much at all tonight, only one rebound, but he rebounds well for a guy his size. And I feel like he's a decent enough playmaker, and he gets the ball to where it needs to go. So, like, even if his shot isn't falling, I think Peyton Pritchard can find some ways to impact the game. And I look at Sam Hauser today, and I say, I don't know if he can find a way to impact the game. 7 rebounds, but that feels a little bit hollow to me. He played 36 minutes. 1 for 18 from the field. 1 for 18. Skaz, 1 for 18. That is McCarthy-like. Holy hell. 1 for 18. I know what that feels like. An NBA player should not know what that feels like. 1 for 18. Wow. Couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat tonight. That's not good.
Almost respect him for, like, keep shooting. I feel like once you're, like, 1 for 10, you just stop shooting. But he was like, no, I'm going to keep firing.
You know what? That would have been my approach. Actually, if I miss 3 in a row, I'm like, I'm passing the ball, man. Because if there's one thing I could do, it's not a particularly good shooter, nor a good rebounder for my size, good passer. I made sure I did not have the ball. Nobody was better at making sure that I didn't have the ball than me. Trust me, when the ball somehow ended up in my hands in my very prestigious basketball playing career, I was like, this should not be here. Let me get this thing away. And you're right, Sam Hauser, it's either A, confidence, which is good. Hey, I'm just going to keep shooting and this thing's going to fall. Or B, somewhere along the way, there needs to be the McCarthy alarm that goes off in your head and says, I should not have this basketball right now. 1 for 18. Woof. Wow, is that bad? So can you take a little something away from that? And, this goes into a thought that I've had for, much of the year. I think there's a difference between Hauser and Pritchard. I do. I think Pritchard can find a way to impact a game in the playoffs, even if his shot isn't falling. And I get you're bringing him in for scoring and all that. But if he has an off night shooting the ball, I still think he won't kill you. I think Hauser will kill you if he doesn't hit his shots. Because that's who he is. He's a shot maker. And wow, is he ice cold tonight. And I saw him in the playoffs last year, and the moment felt too big for him. And the moment felt a little too big for Sam Hauser tonight when they were actually counting on him down the stretch. Gets blocked on the final play. Tillman cleans it up, gets the game-winning bucket. But wow, Sam Hauser was hideous tonight. Absolutely hideous. 1 for 18. But other than that, I liked this game for the Celtics. I did. Were there moments where they weren't great? Yeah, sure. Beginning of the game, no doubt. There were some moments where they were a little bit sleepy. But I'm not going to fault them for that. I mean, that's something I've criticized the Celtics on in the past. But they're 61-16. Like, they didn't need this game. They didn't show up on time tonight. But the Kings didn't either. It was a slow start to this one. So I'm not going to criticize the Celtics for starting slow. They're in the let's get to the playoffs mode. You're in the let's get to the playoffs mode as a fan. You were doing the wave at the Garden tonight with 4 minutes to go and Sacramento rapidly cutting into that lead. You're doing the wave. You don't care because this game didn't matter. It didn't matter to the Celtics, but it mattered a lot to the Kings. And as a result, it ended up mattering to the role players for the Celtics. And as Grandy said, they almost failed, but they got it done in the end. They held on somehow, I guess. 21-1 run, though. Made it wild. Made it interesting. And real quick, if you're betting on these games right now, Skaz, I know you are a degenerate back there, which is one of the things I love about you. Please tell me you're not betting these end-of-the-season Celtics games.
No, these are do not touch.
Yeah. A prop here and there, maybe. Maybe a Peyton Pritchard prop along the way. Maybe a Sam Hauser under on the points.
I mean, if he's taking 18 shots, you'd hope he'd be hitting his overs.
Somebody tonight bet Sam Hauser on the over. Can we find out what Sam Hauser's over-under was tonight? He was in the starting lineup, so it had to be like 9.5 or something like that. It had to be high. There is somebody out there screaming every time Hauser miss. I feel bad for you. I do. But yeah, little piece of advice. Don't touch any of these games. Any of these final 6 games for the Celtics. 5 games for the Celtics. I would not go near them. 617-779-0985. some big picture stuff I want to get into. Because one of the reasons the Celtics won this game tonight is Kristaps Porzingis was really good again. Another double-double for him, 20 and 11. The state of this roster is in such good shape. I mean, they basically just put a bunch of scrubs out there against the Kings, and they had a big enough lead to hold on because they're so good. They're that good. That's a playoff team out west. It's a team that at times has been a top 2 or 3 team out west in the last couple of years. And you kind of ran them out of the building there before the third team came in. The state of this roster is so strong, and we need to talk about that. We'll continue. 617-779-0985. McCarthy in for Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
That's why when those guys are in, you hold them to the same standard you hold everybody else to. So I thought they did a great job just making plays. And there's no reason to call a timeout there, because when Peyton got the ball in bounds, he created an advantage, and they were double teaming every time. And so we were gonna get a better shot. And that they were in a fix-it situation the entire possession. So that allowed us to get a good look. It allowed us to get offensive rebounds because they couldn't find us. We were off their body. So I thought it was a perfect environment for practice.
This game didn't mean anything for the Celtics tonight, so the way he approached things, oh yeah, I'm all about it. As Tristan Costas goes tank. After Tyler O'Neill went tank. Back-to-back bombs for the Red Sox. They're up 2-0 right now. It's Matt McCarthy. I apologize for getting Joe Murray distracted. Although, you know what, really? I mean, that is nowhere near Joe Murray level distraction. Not one bit. So Sox out to a 2-0 lead in Anaheim right now. Celtics pick up a 1-point victory tonight over the Sacramento Kings, despite leading by 19 with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. But Sacramento starters against the Celtics' third team. And Joe Mazzulla looked at it as an opportunity for those guys to get some reps, including a couple players who you actually will need to rely on in Pritchard and Hauser. And I thought one of them kind of passed the test tonight and has passed the test all year long. And I thought Hauser failed the test in a massive way. 1 for 18 for Sam Hauser tonight. But enough about Sam Hauser. I mean, if you want to add your Sam Hauser thoughts, you want to defend Sam Hauser, you're more than welcome to at 617-779-0985. But if we're going to spend a lot of time on Sam Hauser, who I don't think is all that great, Sammy Buckets, I get it, but I just don't get hot and bothered over Sam Hauser. If we're going to do that, I think it's only fair for us to spend even more time on why the Celtics are so good. And tonight, and really just this season in general, is a reminder to me of just how good Brad Stevens is at his job. We do not talk about it enough, but this roster is beyond loaded. They got out to a 20-point lead on a playoff team out west and were able to pull their starters with 7 minutes to go, and they were able to hold on because the top of this roster is so outstanding. And Brad Stevens does not get enough credit for his role in constructing this roster and for the job he has done since the day he took over for Danny Ainge. He has upgraded this roster every opportunity he's had. He has not missed. And we do not talk about that enough here on these airwaves or anywhere else. I don't know if Brad Stevens has made a bad move. I was asking my producer, Skaz, earlier, and I said, has Brad Stevens made a bad move? Has he?
Honestly, no. I don't think so. We were trying to come up with one earlier, and everything he does works out for this team.
It doesn't just work out. It turns to gold. I'm trying to think like his worst move. Bringing in Dennis Schroeder. Then he shipped him out because it wasn't working, which is the sign, by the way, also of a great GM. You know, great GMs make great moves, but they also don't let their bad moves get compounded. They, aren't afraid to, cut bait when, things don't work out. And Dennis Schroeder was an example of that. I mean, Derek White, who, you were missing tonight, has been such an unbelievable find. Al Horford, continuing to give you things. Maybe not so much tonight, but I don't care. Al Horford shouldn't play for the rest of the year. Sit him down. Rest up, old man. We don't need you one bit. How many minutes did Horford play tonight? 20. That's about 19 minutes too many, if you ask me. Just sit his ass down. Don't want to see him out there. Don't want to see him playing in second halves. Don't want to see him playing at all, because I do think they need him. I do think Horford, again, is like many guys on this team, plays a key role in making the Celtics who they are, which is a 61-16 team. But sit his ass down, really, for the rest of the season. And I think Mazzulla has done a good job. I will give him credit. I'm the first to criticize Joe Mazzulla, but I think it's fair to give him a lot of credit for the way that he's approached and is approaching the end of this regular season. Like, there's no reason for those guys to play. Derek White sat out tonight. I'm sure he's not hurt. Jaylen Brown has the hand thing, but it's good enough to play. No reason to play him. Sit him down. Sunday against Portland, I don't want to see Jason Tatum in that game. Take the night off. I don't want to see Horford in that game. Porzingis, nope. Give me Luke Cornett. Give me 40 minutes of Cornett. Give me 40 minutes of the Condor flying through the air. I need it. I need more Max screeches. Condor screeches from Max. I need that. But you can do this because you've got a 13.5 game lead in the Eastern Conference because you're that good. Because of the job that Brad Stevens has done. Hasn't made a bad move since he got here. And I'm sorry, Kristaps Porzingis, who was, I think, excellent tonight in his 24 minutes of action. 20 points, 11 rebounds. What a trade. I don't want to go back to it, because you could go back to it after every single game, and I've tried not to. But the Marcus Smart for Kristaps Porzingis trade is it has the potential to be an all-time steal. If they win a championship, you're going to look back on that Porzingis trade as one of the great trades in Celtics history and maybe Boston sports history. That's how good it could potentially be. And maybe you're saying, all right, McCarthy, let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. But think about it. Yes, of course, Brown and Tatum will be the people to lead, the guys to lead the Celtics to a championship. Your star players lead you to championships in this league. I understand that. But Porzingis, if the Celtics win a championship, almost certainly will be a massive difference maker. And you just think about it. Marcus Smart for Kristaps Porzingis straight up. That's nuts. That's insane. Getting Marcus Smart out of here was the best thing that has happened to the Celtics since the Nets trade. Since the trade that brought them the picks for Brown and Tatum. Brought Porzingis to town. It allowed Brown and Tatum to continue to take another step forward. It opened the door for the Holiday trade. It's created more opportunities for Peyton Pritchard, and he's had a really good year. Marcus Smart was holding this franchise back. Don't you see it now? And I took a lot of calls for many years from people defending Marcus Smart. Do you miss him one bit? Do you think about him one bit? Until somebody talks about Porzingis and you're like, wait a minute, they got him for Marcus Smart. Do you stay up at night, Skaz, and think about Marcus Smart?
No, I do not. I stay up at night and just dream about Kristaps Porzingis now.
You and me both. They're very erotic dreams, by the way. He's the man. He's the man. Well, on that note, 617-779-0985, couple open phone lines for you. We'll continue the Celtics discussion, mix in some Red Sox thoughts. They're piling it on in Anaheim right now. They keep rolling on. Bruins thoughts from last night, still hot on them. Patriots draft news. Drake May was in town. It created an earthquake today. We'll get to all of that. It's McCarthy in for Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Celtics with a 101-100 victory over the Kings tonight. They hold on. Xavier Tillman hitting the game winner. Hello to everybody in the YouTube chat. I would like to chat with you, but for some reason they won't let me. They say I need to be subscribed to the chat for more than 5 minutes. I have been subscribed since last night. It's not working.
Yeah, it's weird. We're still working out some bugs. I had the same problem the first night when we went on, and they had to go in the back end and fix something. But hopefully by next week we'll be all right.
It works. It looks great. It's a good place.
Yeah, it's just a chat.
It's just I can't chat with you. And just know that I want to. I see you there. So, hello. I see you. Thank you for joining us. It's a fun place to be. Chat's always a good time. And someday I will be able to chat with you. But you can see me now. I'm waving to you. Hello. Hi. So McCarthy in for Joe Murray tonight. I was just going through the NBA standings here. And I asked Skaz, I said, wait a minute, can you remind me of how the play-in tournament works? And your response to me, Skaz, was one of indignity. I mean, really, you wanted nothing to do with that question. Skaz, how does it work? How does the play-in tournament work again?
You tell me, because you just looked it up.
I did. I just had to confirm it. And it's what I thought. It's what I remembered from last year, because it's changed since the Celtics were in it 2 years ago, right? I think it's changed a little bit. They've tweaked it. That feels like a million years ago that the Celtics were a play-in tournament team. 3 years ago now, a play-in tournament team. Think about how far they've come. I mean, they were 25-25 the year they went to the NBA Finals after being in the play-in tournament. And there were legitimate discussions about whether you should break up the Jays. And trust me, I was one of those people having those discussions, and I don't think it was unreasonable at the time. Being a play-in tournament team, God, gross. But this year, you actually do have, I think, some kind of legit teams in both sides of the play-in tournament. Kind of some compelling stuff. You can do worse than this Kings team. The 8th seed out in the West right now, and now they're tied with the Lakers because they lost tonight for the 8th seed in the West, which means a lot. Kings needed this game tonight. The Celtics did not, which is why you got that finish at the end with all the starters for Sacramento and all the third-team scrubs for the Celtics. And Sam Hauser, who was a scrub tonight. So it means something. Because the 7-8 teams play, if you need a refresher the way that I did and the way that Skaz did on the NBA play-in tournament, the 7 and the 8 teams play. The winner of that game is the 7 seed. They go on to the playoffs. Then the loser of that game, if you're following along, the loser of the 7-8 game plays the winner of the 9-10 game, and the winner of that game is the 8 seed. And they play the Celtics in the first round. So the Celtics have a 13.5 game lead on Milwaukee right now, who have now lost 3 straight and are circling the drain. Bucks, dumpster fire right now. Last 3 games for Milwaukee. They lost to the Wizards, 15-win team. The Grizzlies, a 27-win team. And the Raptors, who had lost 15 in a row. What were the odds on that, Skaz? You had the odds for me. It was minus 850, minus 1100, something like that. I mean, it was massive, and they lost all 3 of those games.
So just looking at it, Bucks money line in their last 3 games. Okay. Minus 850 against the Warriors, lost.
Yep.
Minus 950 at home to the Grizzlies, lost. Minus 1100, lost by 9 at home to the Toronto Raptors.
Who had lost 15 games in a row. That is the Doc Rivers effect there. So the Bucks don't necessarily scare me. Nobody in the East scares me. But for the sake of discussion, because we got to do it, here are your options right now, Skaz. The team that will come into Boston for the first-round playoff series. The 4 teams right now in the play-in tournament. Miami's the 7 seed. They're a game behind Indiana for the 6 seed, so that could change. Miami's the 7 seed. Philly is the 8 seed, getting Embiid back. The Bulls are the 9 seed, and the Hawks are the 10 seed. Which team of those 4 do you want to see the Celtics play in the first round?
I mean, for me, it's the Bulls, and it's not even close. I think the Celtics sweep the Bulls easily. They have no depth. They have, DeRozan, who's a great player, but he's old. And I just think the Celtics dominate the Bulls.
I do, too. That's why I don't want them. I want Miami. I want Miami in the first round.
You've been on this for a while.
I felt that way last year. I felt like the Celtics needed Miami in the first round. I said this last year, and I feel this way again. The Celtics need to get playoff ready the second the playoffs start. You know, they got Atlanta last year, and that series went 6 games, and it shouldn't have. And, you know, they won that series because they were just so much better than the Hawks. But the problems creeped in right away for the Celtics. And, yeah, maybe they would have lost to Miami in the first round. They lost them in the Eastern Conference Finals. But because they weren't tested right away, I think the Celtics' worst habits came out. And they were never addressed and they were never fixed. Now, I do think some of those bad habits have been alleviated this year. I don't think the Celtics have the same bad habits that they had in years past. I think they're a more mature team. I think they're a better team. Getting Marcus Smart out of here has only helped them, exponentially. But I still think, particularly after the way this season has gone, they have just coasted to it. There is no pressure being applied to the Celtics at all. And there hasn't been for a long time. And Joe Mazzulla talked about the pressure on the third unit tonight to close that game out, and he thought it was perfect. He thought it was perfect practice, and I agree. Like, you need to find ways to simulate that, even if it's for the guys at the end of the bench, like anything to create a feeling of tension, because you grow in uncomfortable moments. You grow from pressure moments. You're not always going to succeed in pressure moments. The Celtics have certainly failed in their fair share of pressure moments over the years, and they haven't really been tested for a while here. They're 61-16 for the love of God. I mean, the second half of this year has been a joke since the All-Star break. It's just like, can we just get to the playoffs already? You're resting guys every single night. Miami is the type of team that you need to get it ramped up for Game 1, Round 1. The Bulls are not that team. You can sleepwalk through that series and sweep them, to Skaz's point. I couldn't agree more. That's why you need Miami in the first round. Miami gets you battle-tested. Yes, it'll be uncomfortable. But let me tell you, if you don't beat Miami, if you're like, the last team I want is Miami. Haven't you seen the Celtics against Miami? Yes, that's why I want them. If you can't beat Miami when you're going to, win 65 games this year, or whatever it's going to come down to, 60 plus, if you can't beat a play-in Miami Heat team in the first round, you don't deserve to go anywhere, and you wouldn't go anywhere, ultimately. But Miami would get the Celtics ready for the second round and beyond. They need the Heat. They need the Heat. I know it's uncomfortable for you, but they need it.
Let me offer you just, a counterpoint. What if Miami isn't Miami of old and they are the regular season team they've been this year, and the Celtics walk over them in 5, maybe even 6 games, and they feel like we got the monkey off our back. We did what we needed to do. We beat Miami, and then they go into the second round feeling themselves a little bit too much. Are you worried about that at all?
So I just look at Brooklyn a few years ago, like getting Brooklyn in the first round. They swept the Nets, didn't they? Is that a sweep? But they needed that. That team needed that, and then it was kind of, not to say off and running, I mean, because they had a really tough series against the Bucks. They had a really tough series against the Heat that Marcus Smart tried to blow at the end of Game 7, taking the final 5 shots, missing them all, and if Jimmy Butler could shoot, you wouldn't have been in the NBA Finals that year. So again, just another reminder of how much better off you are without Marcus Smart. Oh my God, thank God he's gone. You don't have to worry about that this year. But I just view that Miami thing as I think it would propel them the way that the Nets series kind of propelled them. So once you get past that thing and you can kind of exercise the demons of last year a little bit, I think that would help them. And it would get them battle-tested for the playoffs. And you say, yeah, what if they're just the Miami team they've been all year long? Okay, that's fine. But that's still a tough team. They don't have a lot of talent. They're not very good. But they haven't had a lot of talent in recent years. They didn't have a lot of talent last year. And you still lost to them. So, yeah, I want Miami. I want Miami in the first round. And you know what? If you get the Sixers and you get Embiid, yeah, so be it. You've beaten that team. You've owned them. And I think you'd do so again. Easiest matchup, the Bulls, no doubt. The matchup I want, Miami. Bring me the Heat. Your thoughts, 617-779-0985. We continue. It's McCarthy in for Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
talk to the people, engage with them. Got the UConn-Iowa game on in here. Got the sweat going on. Skaz convinced me that it's time to bet UConn plus 3.5. Feels like Caitlin Clark's getting hot here. I mean, I'm only half watching the game because I'm on. I'm delivering another Marconi Award-winning radio program. Don't you understand? And we're talking about this one for a while. So, I mean, I can't be too locked in, but plus 3.5. Plus 3.5 on UConn. How are we feeling about this here, Skaz? I mean, it feels like UConn's controlled this game. They led by 6 at the half. They lead by 1, or they're tied here with 2:17 to play. How you feeling about it?
I feel pretty good. It's been a back and forth game. It feels like it's going to come down to the end. So anytime you get plus 3 in a game this close,
Yep.
I feel pretty good.
I do too. Well, I mean, listen, I'm a little bit scarred because I don't know if you just happen to have Oregon in that double overtime game. Who did they lose to? I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was Creighton. And they lost by 15. That was a tough moment for your guy.
I had Creighton in that game, and I was at Joe Murray's house that night, and I left thinking, I lost my bet, and I got home and won my bet. And that never happens. It always goes the other way.
I didn't feel good about that one. Didn't feel good about that one when that went down at all, Skaz. I don't know why you had to rub it in that you won that bet.
Hey, it's just payback for all those Yoshida strikeout bets over the summer.
Tough. Let me I am not riding the Yoshida under strikeout thing this year. Nope. No siree. Because turns out that here in America, he strikes out a lot. Way more than you'd want him to for a player who doesn't have much power and doesn't field. So, not feeling so great about Masataka Yoshida this year. Feeling okay about the Red Sox. They're out to a 4-0 lead. Tristan Casas with an absolute bomb. Tyler O'Neill. And Reese McGuire had a tank. Reese McGuire got into one. I'm starting to think this Griffin Canning might not be a great pitcher for the A's. You're giving up bombs to Reese McGuire. Jacks. Car jacks, even, to Reese McGuire. Kind of crazy to think he's still here. When they first acquired him, I'm like, well, this is a 3-week thing. Like, they're going to move on from the guy who got arrested for publicly pleasuring himself in a Publix parking lot.
Very public.
Very public. Publix. There's even an X on it. It was X-rated. Not the public parking lot, the Publix. What are you doing? What are you doing if you're doing that? Listen, we all have our things, right? We're all human. Wow, that's taken it to a whole different level. Not great. Not great at all. 617-779-0985. So we've turned off subscribers only mode, huh?
Just temporarily to see if we can get you in there.
Create a channel to join the chat. What? Why do I need to create a channel?
You should just have an account. I think that's how you get in.
Oh, okay. Hold on here. This is great radio. Me figuring out. Okay, so let's just go to. Let's create the handle. This is going to be very simple. At Matt McCarthy 98.5. Chat as Matt McCarthy. Handle at Matt McCarthy 98.5. I'm not doing a picture. I'll do that later. Can I get in? More about this channel. Oh, I guess I have a channel now. Oh, it's like I created a whole account. Would you look at that? Now I need to check this ad. Let's see. Hello. Oh, it worked. Yeah, I know. I'm not great with technology. What can I say? But I'm here. Hey, I'm trying to do a radio show and talk to you. And try and figure out the YouTube stuff. Sign in, authenticate. I'm more like Felger than you think. Becoming an old man day by day. Day by day. All right, so there we go. We get to go through the YouTube chat. I do want to get into the Bruins from last night and where they stand and what I think the Bruins need to do. And a very, very important discussion that does need to happen this hour about natural disasters. We've got something going on out there. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. And I do think we need to establish the official, and I know it's not my show, but the official Joe Murray Show rankings of the natural disasters you least want to encounter. They're a lot. Bruins are natural disasters. What are you thinking here, Skaz?
Thinking this is going to be a real positive segment.
Let's go natural disasters. But we'll get to we talked Bruins last night. We'll get to the Bruins. Tell you what, you want me to talk Bruins, you can either chat me on YouTube. I can do what the people want. It's my job to serve the people. People say, oh, you talk about what you want to talk about. No, I talk about what the people want me to talk about. We could even do a vote. You want me to talk about natural disasters or the Bruins? All right. It's overwhelming, resounding in the chat. Eclipses and earthquakes. 90 seconds, no commercials. Quick update, then right back with you. It's McCarthy in for Joe Murray.
WBCFM from the Town Fair Tire Studios, the home of the Patriots, the Celts, the Revs, and the Bruins. Boston's home for sports is 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Rotation. Sports Hub headlines.
Celtics a 101-100 win over the Kings at the Garden. Xavier Tillman hitting a game-winning shot with seconds to play in that one after the Celtics blew a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter. Kings keeping their starters in. The Celtics did the exact opposite of that. They play Portland on Sunday. NCAA tournament rolling on the women's side. End of the third quarter, UConn and Iowa tied at 51. South Carolina already advanced to the national championship game with a 78-59 win over NC State. Red Sox leading the Angels 4-0 in the third right now. Homers for Reese McGuire, Tyler O'Neill, and Tristan Casas in that one. Cutter Crawford on the mound. Patriots reportedly hosted Drake May today in Foxborough. Jaden Daniels coming for a visit on Monday. Bruins and the Panthers tomorrow night at the Garden. They'll take on, after a 4-1 win last night against Carolina. Justin Brazeau considered week to week with an upper body injury. Headlines are brought to you by Awaken 180. Don't live next to an Awaken 180 location. Their at-home program has you covered. Receive the same great program and results, and receive free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com. I'm Matt McCarthy. I'm Boston's home for sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update, 30 minutes. Hey, I'm trying to do a radio show and talk to you.
Pasternak got that shot away. Pasternak shoots. He's got.
Hi, this is David Pasternak.
Pasternak from the low laser.
And you're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Yeah, it's not that it's my job or anything. Well, I'm trying to talk to you on the radio. I'm trying to talk to you. What do you want from me? Dude, we want you to talk. That's literally your job.
Shout out the Jeremy Conley, who is always listening.
Does he ever not listen to the night show?
If there's an opportunity for a drop, Jeremy Conley will find it.
I've been thinking, I think I've been here 11 years at this point. I think I need my own theme song. I know that's like very egocentric and whatever, but like after 11 years, do you think I've earned my own like theme?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I feel like after like 6,
Yeah.
what's the cutoff for a theme song?
Right. At what point do I get my own liners, which is what, like imaging. Right, when we come back, you're like, you're listening to Joe Murray.
I think we should get some Friday Night Baseball Hour Milliken and McCarthy into spots and rejoiners.
Oh, that would be nice. That would be nice.
They have to be appropriate, though, Tyler.
Well, right. I mean, Milliken is a dirty, dirty dog. That is, wow.
A foul boy.
Oh, the dirtiest comment in the history of 98.5 The Sports Hub yesterday. I mean, sexually graphic. That was explicit, what Milliken said yesterday. It's, wow. That's what Heim did to him. I'll tell you that. Well, on that note, I don't know where you really go from there. But yeah, no, I think my own theme song would be good. Maybe we can include that one. What do you want me to do? Trying to talk to you? Make sure I have that. Got an idea. Would it be egocentric of me to produce my own theme?
No, as a producer, I take great joy when people, take initiative and produce their own stuff. I think it's good.
All right. I'm going to produce one. I'm going to make it happen. And the next time I'm in for Joe, well, I mean, I don't like playing it on like Joe's show. This is Joe's time. 7 to midnight, this is Joe's time. It should be The Joe Murray Show. Give me the, you're listening to Joe Murray. I spoke with women today. Like, give me that. I could probably do every liner, rejoin here on the station. It's all ingrained in my head. Trying to do a radio show and talk to you. It's hard. You think this is easy? You think my job talking sports is easy? Yeah, McCarthy, we actually do. Yeah, you're right. It's easy if you have talent. I'll put it that way. Like if you were good, no problem. Try and grind out 2 hours on a Friday night. I mean, my God, that takes real skill, real effort. All right, we'll make it happen. Next time I'm on, Skaz, I'll have a little something for you. A little McCarthy production. Do that. But we do need to get to the pressing and important issue of the day, which is the earthquake. Now, I worked the night show last night. So I got up this morning and I said, I'm really tired. I got to go back to bed for a little bit. 10:30 I wake up. After a little snooze there. 10:30. Got texts being like, hey, did you feel that earthquake? What the hell? My brother in Quincy is like, dude, my apartment was shaking. It was like, what the hell are you talking about? No, so I didn't feel the earthquake. Skaz, you're near me. You did not feel the earthquake.
I did not feel the earthquake. I was sleeping at the time. My girlfriend said she did feel it, but I'm not 100% convinced.
I feel like if she felt the earthquake, it would have been like, did she? It kind of sounds like she was ho-hum about it, right?
Yeah, like she said, like she works from home, so she said her like laptop shaked a little. But like I feel like my dog would have started barking or something. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a skeptic.
I'm kind of a skeptic there too. She's like, oh yeah, well my computer was shaking a little bit. No, I feel like if you're from the Northeast and you experience the earthquake, it's all you're talking about right now. Now I have never ever felt an earthquake. I didn't feel it where I am, and I'm relatively near you, but I guess you could feel it in Quincy today. Felger said he didn't feel it in Wellesley. Joe Murray definitely felt it in Peabody today. But it got me thinking. Where does earthquake rank on the list of natural disasters I least want to F with? Like a real earthquake. Like that one in Taiwan. Did you see that? That is no bueno, man. That is scary. Nope, all of a sudden you're just going about your day and literally the earth starts shaking. You ever think about that? Isn't that kind of crazy? Isn't that kind of weird?
Isn't that kind of weird?
I mean, really, isn't it kind of weird?
I do my best to not think, especially about things like that.
I think we prove that every single night here on the show, Skaz. We do our best not to think. We're actually not very good at thinking.
No. Not my thing. But yeah, I mean, just earthquake, not great. I mean, I've been in California for an earthquake that I really felt, and that was like a little scary, but it is weird. The earth is just moving. I think the craziest thing with an earthquake is just that it's totally out of your control, and you don't know when it's going to end.
Well, but I mean, that's kind of natural disasters. That's what it's all about. Like, you really can't control it.
I feel like there are some that you like have at least a little bit of a heads up about, but earthquakes, no real heads up.
Is this like? Are you going like? Let's push the. Can we nuke the hurricane? Is that your approach there, Skaz?
Well, Matt, I don't know if you know this, but NASA is shooting rockets at the Eclipse on Monday. I don't know if you're aware of this, but yes.
What?
Yes, NASA is going to, not all the way at the Eclipse, but they're going to shoot rockets. Yeah, I don't know. It's a very bizarre thing.
Hold on, what?
This is real. Yes.
What is the point of this? NASA shooting rockets at the Eclipse?
It is to try and it's for research purposes, from what I was reading, to try and gain information on like energy and light particles and stuff. But it was way above my head, obviously.
All right, so here we go. NASA will launch sounding rockets and a WB-57. Are you sure that's not the WB-56 where I used to watch my Saturday morning cartoons as a child? So they're shooting sounding rockets and WB-57 high-altitude planes to conduct research on aspects of the sun and the earth that's only possible during an eclipse. The efforts are part of a long history of attempts to gather invaluable data and observations when the moon temporarily blocks the sun's light. Here's my thought about that real quick. Yes, of course we want to learn, like, hey, this is something different, right? So you want to research anything different? But if the sun were ever blocked out for a long period of time, what does it matter? We're porked, man. Bye-bye. See you later. It's all done. We've had many a discussion, probably too many discussions on this program, Skaz, about what would happen if the sun quit on us, and would we know, and how long would it take? And I still don't remember any of the answers, but some people were saying it was like 9 seconds, 9 minutes, or like 3 days, or something like that. If the sun just poof, it's like, we're checking out early, retiring at halftime. If the sun was doing that, how long would it take for us to know? Would we even know? Would we just be sitting around for 3 days being like, yo, Skaz, it's been real. I don't know why I'm coming into work tonight because none of this matters.
Well, we shoot rockets at it. That's what I want to know.
Well, right. So what is the purpose of, hey, we want to learn what happens if the sun is obscured, the sun is blocked out? Well, if that happens for a really long period of time, none of it matters. We're all gone. I can figure that out. So what exactly are we going to learn about this?
That I don't know. So I went down kind of a rabbit hole once I saw that headline because, I mean, it's NASA's shooting rockets into the sky. They're not even going to get close to the actual, eclipse, but they're trying to gain information. And in that same article, it said that, and this is something I'd never heard of before, but the Large Hadron Collider, the LHC, or Collider, is going to be turned on by the European Organization for Nuclear Research. They call it the CERN. It is the world's largest and highest energy particle collider. That will also be turned on during the eclipse. It's never usually turned on for research purposes. So all of this just seems very weird. There's a lot going on Monday.
Hold on, wait a minute. So wait, that's some nuclear thing?
It's the world's largest and highest energy particle collider. What that means, your guess is as good as mine.
Okay, so I saw Oppenheimer. Isn't that about making particles collide and whatever? So are they testing out like a backup sun?
Maybe a backup sun.
I mean, you want to test something out? That feels like a good thing to test out.
Hey, I'm all for it.
I'm all right. Now, I mean, we could destroy the Earth in the process of that. What do I know about science? Absolutely nothing. That's why I do this. And you're probably saying, McCarthy, you don't know anything about sports. Why are you on the air? Touché. But yeah, I feel like that would be something worthwhile to test. Now, I'm reading here. Perhaps one of the most famous scientific milestones connected to an eclipse occurred on May 29th, 1919, when a total solar eclipse provided evidence for Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity, which the scientist first systematically described in 1916. Okay, that does feel like a big discovery. Do I know what the theory of relativity is? No. Do I know it's big, right? E
equals MC squared.
E equals MC squared. You see, again, do you understand why I got a D in the physics of sound?
It's the equivalence of mass and energy.
Okay. All right, something like that. It's big. It was a big deal. I know that. I watched Oppenheimer. He's a big deal. But I feel like what else can we learn at this point? Are we testing the theory of relativity again? What's the big thing we can do while the sun goes bye-bye for a few minutes? I don't get it. During the 2017 eclipse that crossed the U.S., NASA and other space agencies conducted observations using 11 different spacecraft and 2 high-altitude planes. Data collected during that eclipse helped scientists to accurately predict whether the corona... Hold on. Didn't we have a coronavirus? Whoa! Mind blown! Or the sun's hot outer atmosphere would look like during eclipses in 2019 and 2021. Despite its blazing temperatures, the corona is fainter in appearance than the sun's bright surface, but it appears like a halo around the sun during an eclipse when the bulk of the sun's light is blocked out by the moon, making it easier to study. Why the corona is millions of degrees hotter than the sun's actual surface is one of the enduring mysteries about our star. Okay, that I understand. we're trying to research a specific portion of the sun that we can really only best see during an eclipse, that actually made sense to me. But I'm not supposed to look at it. Or am I supposed to look at it? With special glasses. But
Yeah.
how do I know I'm getting the real right glass? Like I saw on WBZ that it needs to have something on it that it's like the American Astronomical Society or something, like their stamp of approval needs to be on these glasses to make sure that they're real and they're legit. But I'm not going to lie, I am terrified about the eclipse. I'm terrified about it.
We got a great comment in the YouTube chat. Someone said, I'd really like to get Carl Everett's thoughts on this.
Yes. Dinosaurs. Or he did not believe in dinosaurs, right?
He had a lot of theories.
Many of them.
He'd probably thrive in today's day and age.
No doubt. Where is he on Twitter? Can I follow that?
Him and Aaron Rodgers.
Carl Everett, a man before his time. And then, of course, there's Mookie Wilson, who once said that when he was in a slump, that he would think about dinosaurs. And he would believe in dinosaurs because he would believe if dinosaurs were real, then they must be out there believing in him. And then he breaks out of his slump.
One of the greatest sports quotes of all time.
Is it real?
Hey, man, if he wants it to be, it's real to him. It's real to me, damn it.
No, that is real to me. And Skaz, by the way, I'm not feeling good about this UConn bet. They're down 7 right now. You led me astray.
5 minutes left. A lot of time. A lot of time.
But I feel like Caitlin Clark's just going to shoot the lights out of the building to close this game out.
He'll probably lose by 4 and we won't cover, but
Yep.
but you never know.
Yep. So there you go. There you have it. A lot to get to on this. A lot to get to. But yes, no, I'm terrified of the eclipse. I'm terrified. And I think it's the coolest thing ever, by the way. But I don't want to look at the thing because I'm going to go blind. Is that what they tell me? I'm going to go blind if I look at the eclipse. But it's pretty cool, right? It's really cool. How am I supposed to not look up? So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, after Zolak and Bertrand on Monday, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to stand in the parking lot like a jackwagon, and I'm going to wait for my shadow to disappear. Because I'm going to be too terrified to look up at the sky because I think I'm going to go blind.
There was a caller who called into Felger and Maz and said, you need to look at your shadow when it's happening because what happens with your shadow will blow your mind. And I just can't stop thinking about that because it's just going to disappear, right?
I would think.
Now I'm curious. I got to go outside and see what my shadow does.
I think that's the approach. Oh boy, I think Trevor Story just got really hurt. That does not look good. Watch this here, Skaz. Why does he roll over like that? That's not good. He's been on the ground for a while. Went for a diving play here, got the ball, and then just kind of rolled over in a heap of pain. That's not great. Trevor Story's hurt again. Who could have predicted that? That's unfortunate. Wow. 617-779-0985. That was just the eclipse. We didn't get really to the natural disasters. I got a take. I got some takes on this. I have multiple takes. I have a list. You like a list, Gaz? You still doing listicles for the website?
Oh yeah, I just did one on the Masters.
What if I give you this content? This listicle content. I have my list of top 5 natural disasters I don't want to F with.
I like it.
We'll do it next.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
dove for a ball at shortstop, landed hard. I don't know if it's a shoulder. I don't know if it's an elbow. I don't know if it's a collarbone, but he was rolling around on the ground in pain. I mean, that was not a normal, you pulled something, you bruised something, you banged something up because you dove for a ball. That was not great. That UConn 3 was great as UConn's down 1 with 39 seconds to play. That was outstanding. Cover Caitlin Clark at the 3-point line. I don't care if she gets a 2. 3.5, baby. Plus 3.5. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Let's go. But that is a brutal blow for the Red Sox if Trevor Story is out for any extended period of time. This is the type of thing that really could change a season. And I mean, I'll be the first to say I am not a Trevor Story fan. I think he is an overrated player. The guy can't hit. But what he means to this team in the field and the fact that they do need him to, morph back into an all-star player if they're going to go anywhere. If he's hurt, legitimately hurt, and misses an extended period of time, that's the type of injury that can derail this team. Because you saw them last year when they didn't have a shortstop, and you saw how that affected the team on a nightly basis and cost them games. I mean, Maz and Milliken and I spent an hour tonight on the Baseball Hour talking about why this Red Sox team is different from last year, and it was all about the defense. Like, they can field. And Trevor Story is a huge part of that. You build your baseball team from the middle on out, and, very few teams are good if you are not solid, respectable to good up the middle, catcher, shortstop, center field. And, unlike last year, the Red Sox actually entered this year with a good defensive catcher, a Gold Glove quality shortstop, and Cedon Rafaela, who is, been in the big leagues for a week and a half, basically, but to me is a Gold Glove potential center fielder. So if Trevor Story's hurt, legitimately hurt, and he's going to miss a long period of time, they're in trouble. They're in real trouble. Not to mention their lack of impact right-handed hitters. I mean, that's your 3-hitter. Say what you will. And I think, I actually did this research project the other day. The Red Sox have had only a handful of right-handed number 3 hitters since Ted Williams retired. Obviously, Ted Williams a lefty, but 65 years. I don't have the list in front of me, but it's basically Jim Rice, Manny Ramirez, 1 year, Mike Greenwell, Nomar. I mean, it's few and far between the number of right-handed hitting 3-hitters. And Trevor Story is now on that list, opening day 3-hitters. And not that I get that the role has changed in baseball and your best hitter hits 2 now, so just work with me for a second. But the fact that they were relying on Trevor Story, who's not that great a hitter, to be your 3-hitter is problematic enough. And now if he's gone for an extended period of time, and this certainly did not look good, this is the type of thing that can change a season. It is. That's how big this could be. That's a tough blow, man. That is a tough blow. And then you start to say, okay, well, where do you go from here? You're already down your second baseman. Do you move Vaughn Grissom back to shortstop when he comes back? I think there are questions about, what he's going to be at second base, let alone at shortstop. Is this going to be the Pablo Reyes experience again? Marcelo Meyer isn't ready. Nick York isn't a shortstop. He's in Double-A. If Marcelo Meyer didn't get hurt last year, didn't suck up, that nearly got dirty there for a second. I nearly had myself a Tyler Milliken moment there. Skaz, that was bad. If Marcelo Meyer didn't stink up the joint in Double-A last year, maybe you'd be talking about right now, okay, well, is it time for Marcelo Meyer to come up and hand the reins over to him? He's not ready. So your starting shortstop and your number 3 hitter, gone. Down. Oy. Before you even come home. And it was a good start to the year for the Red Sox, too. And this puts a real damper on that. Don't underestimate how big this injury is for the Red Sox. They have no replacement. And Trevor Story, in my opinion, wasn't good enough in the first place, at least as a hitter. Concerning stuff. What do we have here, Skaz? Is it a 1-point game?
1-point game, 9 seconds left. UConn had the ball and were called for a somewhat to very controversial offensive foul call. And now Iowa has the ball with 3.9 seconds left, leading by 1.
So they have to foul.
Yes. And it will be a 3-point game, hopefully, and UConn will get the ball.
Well, that's what we're all hoping for. That's what we're all hoping for. 4.6. They put time on the clock. This is something criminal is happening here, Skaz. So, yeah, I'm feeling good about this, right? Just don't foul Caitlin Clark if she's shooting a 3. Don't do that. She should have put that shot up. She was open. You see that? She should have put that up.
No. Terrible. You can't do that.
No. I mean, think about it. Just from a pure basketball standpoint, you put this shot up. Rebound. Does UConn have a timeout?
It looks like they have 1 left.
Okay, so then maybe you don't put it up. But, I mean, that's going to eat up more of the clock. I mean, I guess you go to the line and you hit your 2. But no, I'm feeling good about this. Feeling very, very good about this bet, Skaz. Well done. Bravo to you.
Hey, it's not over yet.
Let me tell you. Oh, you're right, because UConn could tie the game with a 3.
And then we go to overtime, and it's Oregon all over again.
Oh, no. Don't you say the Oregon word. She missed. Oh, offensive rebound. Oh, no. Oh, no.
This is on you.
Oh, no. No. That's a big gal out there, though.
You make the first and miss the second.
Yeah, you definitely do that. And we got to keep this here. Oh, wait, they got to inbound the ball? They're not in the bonus. Weren't shooting. Oh, they threw it off of her. Let's go. 0.1 on the clock. What a play. Caitlin Clark threw it off. Is that Caitlin Clark on the inbound? She threw it off of the Connecticut defender and took some time off the clock. That is very smart. She has UConn plus 3.5, too. Well done, Caitlin. Well done. How did this take a full second off the clock? I don't care. Don't review it. Oh, yeah. No, that's the human. The human running the scoreboard there couldn't click it down that fast. But still, I think we're good here, Skaz. I think we're good. All right, 617-779-0985. We can get back to our natural disasters. We have in or out, all that coming your way here momentarily. McCarthy in for Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Red Sox out to a 4-0 lead in the 5th on the Anaheim Angels, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. But that's not the story in this one. Trevor Story diving for a ball.
Quick, smelly.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed.
Italian friends this week. It was tough.
That's brutal moment for them. So no, I'm out on this. With the way Game of Thrones ended, and yes, I did watch the end, which is weird. I didn't watch the series, but I watched the end, and even I was like, man, that sucked. Imagine dedicating 10 years of your life to this. So no, I think I'd be out on that if I were a Game of Thrones fan.
All right, we'll stay in, somewhat of the same realm. Another Star Wars movie is being made. This one supposedly going to be an origin story of the Jedi set 25,000 years in the past from, I guess, the normal Star Wars world, whatever you want to say, 25 years in the past from that.
Sure.
With the start of the Jedis. So, McCarthy, are you in or out on a Star Wars origin movie?
I think I'm out on this one, too. I have not, I did not watch episode 9. I have not seen, I thought Rogue One was criminally overrated. I thought Rogue One was no good. Like, whatever. Who gives a crap? Oh, okay, when Vader slaughters everybody at the end of Rogue One, like, how can you not like that? But that was fan service. I thought the rest of the movie was not great. And I know that's a very unpopular opinion because everybody liked Rogue One. I didn't see the appeal of it. No, I'm generally out on most of the Star Wars stuff. I hear The Mandalorian is excellent.
The Mandalorian is really good, and Andor, another Star Wars show, might be even better.
Okay. I think I'm more in on the... So is this a movie or is this a
This
series?
is a movie.
I think I'm kind of more in on the series stuff with Star Wars at this point.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there.
Yeah.
They jokingly call Andor like Star Wars for grown-ups, but that's essentially what it is. It's less of like there's no lightsabers and like that stuff. It's more of like the politics and how like that stuff came to be.
Oh, yeah.
It's better than it sounds.
I was gonna say because I just got like some real episode 1, 2, and 3 flashbacks. Like that's
no.
Yeah, where it's like let's get into intergalactic space politics.
No.
Let's have Jar Jar Binks give a speech before the Senate. That's where I was like, I'm good. I'm really out on this now. Really out. And then Yoda comes and has his lightsaber battle, which is pretty cool. That remains pretty awesome. So no, I think I'm generally out on this. But let me know if it's good and let me know if I should watch it. And then there was the Obi-Wan series, right, which I heard was really good.
That was okay. There was one scene in that thing, a chase scene with the young Princess Leia or whatever that almost ruined the entire series because it was so bad. She was being chased by Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. But
what?
Yeah. So
okay,
that was not great.
That's no.
But other than that, it was okay.
I did watch the just because I was like I'm not going to watch the full series, but I did watch the Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader lightsaber battle, and that was pretty good. Like, give me a good lightsaber battle, and it sounds like this Jedi series might have that. So. I know I'm supposed to be in or out. I'm out for now, but I reserve the right to be in.
I respect it.
Okay.
All right, McCarthy, we'll head to the world of fast food for this one. McDonald's has revealed that they're going to release a remix menu where they mix ingredients from different items. So this will include a surf and turf burger, a chicken cheeseburger, a sweet chili junior chicken,
strong out, hardest out ever, out.
And an apple pie McFlurry.
Out! Oh. Don't even talk to me about fast food right now. Still craving that In-N-Out. 1 a.m. after we saw Springsteen in San Francisco, stopped at In-N-Out on the way back. That was a time. That was much needed. God, I love In-N-Out so much. Yeah, it's the good stuff. In on In-N-Out. Out on everything else you just said there. Don't ever say it again, please.
All right, McCarthy, this one might just be for my own, my own personal edification, but Survivor is back. I believe it's Survivor 46 right now, a show that I still watch.
Really?
Yes, I'm a big Survivor guy. Me and my friends do a draft every year and make it a little interesting. Everybody drafts 2 people after the first episode, and whoever person, lasts the longest wins. So it's a little incentive to watch. I still think it's one of the better reality TV shows left. So, Matt, are you in or out on Survivor Season 46?
I don't think I've ever seen Survivor. I kid you not. I think I saw a little of the second season. I think, were they in Africa?
They've been all over the place.
I know. And I saw a little of it, and I was like, okay, well, I didn't really get it. All I remember my grandfather, God rest his soul, writing an angry letter. This is like what old men do. Writing an angry letter to WBZ Channel 4 for reporting on Survivor. He said, this is not news. And I guess
the man was right.
Well, he was right. And I guess he got a letter back being like, Mr. Heron, thank you very much for your, no, this is news. This is like a cultural phenomenon. And he wrote them back. He's like, this is not news. Do not report on this ever again. He was pissed. So he protests Survivor, and I never watched it as a result of that. So I have no answer on this. In, out, I don't know, because my grandfather started a protest against Survivor in the year 1999 because WBZ had the audacity to report it on the news. And he would watch Meet the Press every Sunday. He was one of those,
longest running television show of all time.
And a true no, this is news, this is not news, this is spin, this is not spin. Nobody could cut through the bull crap like my grandfather, God rest his soul. And he saw WBZ, probably some fluff piece at the end of the 12 o'clock news that they just made Liz Walker do. It's you just got to do this thing 90 seconds. It's a promo for tonight, on the Survivor thing. And he was rip. He was not happy about that. This is not news. So I don't know. I'm not sure.
So we'll make it broader. Reality television in general. Yep. Are you in or out?
Oh, I'm out. However, I have gotten into the Love Island. Yes.
It is on in my house at times, but I do not watch it. I'll say that.
I have disturbingly gotten into hating everybody on that show. And Love is Blind is fascinating. They don't actually see each other. That's actually a really interesting societal, psychological, sociological reruns. Whatever channel aired MASH back in the day. I remember watching it with him. You loved it. Yes, he did. Survivor started in 2000. So yes, it was the year 2000, and he waged war against WBZ for having the audacity to report on it. There we go. Is that it? Is that in or out?
That is going to wrap up a Friday night edition of In or Out.
All right, there you go. We do need to get to my definitive list, which has been put off here, on the natural disasters you least want to F with. We'll do that next. McCarthy in for Joe Murray.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
Hey, we got the solar eclipse. Not that that's a natural disaster, but there's some weird stuff going on out there. It's not great. So it got me thinking, which natural disaster would I least want to encounter? Would I least want to F with? And I think I have my list. The definitive list, and I asked this of Felger and Maz, and they were both very eager to participate in this conversation in the crossover earlier. Said, what natural disaster do you least want to encounter? I said, number one, wildfire. I don't want to burn to death. That doesn't sound great. Maybe the smoke gets you before, but the fear of the fire, I think the fear of the fire, that makes it a number one thing. Number two on my list probably should be number one, but again, I just don't want to burn to death. Tsunami. The ocean, not great. You versus the ocean, bad. The ocean, kind of terrifying when you really think of it. Tsunami, ooh, no good. Number three on my list, volcanic eruption. I went to a Pompeii simulator once. Yeah, I can take a pass on that. Ash and lava raining down on you. You kind of get a little of that earthquake thing, too. It's going to rumble, and then boom, there you go, and then you're dead. Like fire, bad. Fire, bad. That's a takeaway for you tonight. If you take one thing away from this show, fire, bad. Number four, avalanche/landslide. Do you really want to be buried alive? And then number five, rounding it out, I think I'll take tornado. There's something about a tornado coming and taking your house out, spinning you around. That's not good. So I don't even know if an earthquake makes my top five of natural disasters that I don't want to mess around with. It's earthquake or tornado. They're kind of right up there, but this is not tsunami level. Now, I know where tsunamis come from. Ocean earthquakes, but yeah. So maybe you can kind of put it in number two there in tsunami to